Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Donald Trump now has 5 days to come up with nearly $500 million. And things are not looking so good for him on that front. The deadline to pay his judgment in the New York State civil fraud case is March 25th. That is next Monday. That means he has got less than a week to pony up the more than $450 million he owes in penalties plus interest for his fraudulent business practices. Now, normally in a situation like this, a person in Trump's position would secure a bond. He would put up some collateral, and then a third party would front the rest of the cost. Here's the thing. He can't get one. At least according to Trump's lawyers, they say he tried 30 different times to get a bond, and he was turned down each time. At one level, that's kind of surprising. I mean, Trump may significantly over-exaggerate his wealth, but he's not poor. He owns many valuable assets, including multiple expensive properties. Trump Tower, Mar-a-Lago, his own Doral Resort in Florida, a bunch of others. For any other businessman, those assets would function perfectly well as collateral. But of course, the problem is this is not any other businessman. This is Donald Trump, a notorious lifelong con man. No one with the wealth to front him the cash will do it because they know that somehow he will ultimately leave them holding the bag. This subtext was made explicit by Fox, of all places.
He's having a devil of a time putting up this bond.
And his friends aren't stepping up. I mean, this is something that I've asked today. Well, I've been asking Wall Street people that know they're not stepping up.
What's their reason? They're afraid they're never going to see the money again?
I have no idea what their exact reason. You want me to postulate here?
Sure. It's a family show.
Well, that's like a non sequitur there. But anyway, but I just think that they don't think they're going to get their money back, as you say.
Well, do you want me to speculate? Yeah, it's what you said. They're not going to get their money back. Things have gotten so dire, in fact, that former Trump staffer Larry Kudlow is now, listen to this, just openly begging billionaires to write the ex-president a check on air.
Kevin O'Leary, I think this is where it's going to go. Now, I was wondering, if he can't get to the Supreme Court, will you loan him the $460 million?
You know,
just to help, in order to protect America's name. Think of it that way.
To get the bond, he was able to get the $90+ million from Chubb.
Yeah.
I don't know of a bond more than $90 million. I don't recall one.
Yeah.
And so you need cash to back up the bond insurance. And so now we're talking about the terminology of seizing assets. That's foreign language to an American.
Well, it's not foreign language. I mean, assets get seized in America all the time, as a matter of fact. You'll notice Kevin O'Leary there not saying yes when Larry Kudlow asked him to front the money. So this is where Trump is at, having his buddies beg for money on his behalf. Bernie Marcus, the Trump-backing billionaire co-founder of Home Depot, was only slightly less pathetic in his recent opinion piece. Quote, there are several actions conservative donors should take to ensure that Trump-Biden, too, will have a different outcome than their first match. First, the different factions of the Republican Party must unite behind Trump and participate fully in the presidential election. Put another way, no one should sit out the presidential election or withhold their financial support to our nominee. And as it stands, Trump simply does not have the cash he needs by Monday. Without a bond, he's going to need to raise that cash by selling off assets. If he does not, New York State Attorney General Letitia James says she is ready to seize those assets instead. As you might imagine, this cuts to the bone for Donald Trump, a man who spent his entire public life building a mythology around himself as unfathomably wealthy and successful. One new report says the ex-president is in, quote, panic mode over the looming deadline. And a quick glance at his social media page proves as much. Quote, any business thinking about moving into New York State is crazy. Quote, this case should be over. But instead, the attorney general wants to abuse her power to steal my money. Quote, nobody has ever heard of anything like this before. I would be forced to mortgage or sell great assets, perhaps at fire sale prices. Arguably, the best evidence we have that Trump is freaking out is how strongly his campaign is denying he's freaking out. Using language we cannot repeat on this show, a campaign spokesman wrote, quote, these baseless innuendos are pure BS and fake news. Now, I will admit, speaking to you here now, that having watched the development of various legal cases against Trump, there's some part of me that thinks he's going to be saved by some last-minute miracle. He's going to find some appellate avenue to get some judge he appointed somewhere who's going to block the fine, or a rich benefactor will decide to pay it off to buy his favor. But even if he is to pull off a Hail Mary, time is running out. The clock is ticking closer to his literal judgment day.
If it makes you feel any better, I have already put evac on alert. He's ready to go if it comes to that. General, I can assure you.
Hey, General, let me into the war room to see you, so I had to hack my way onto this frequency.
This better be critical, Wheelie.
Sir, come on, what is it not, please? Okay, couple of things. I'm running low on the dough. I was thinking about taking a couple of months sick leave, maybe starting today. And, oh yeah, I intercepted a transmission from Megatron.
Then send it through.
Yes, sir, right away, sir. And so I'll assume that we're going on the other stuff.
This is your last warning, insects. Relinquish what remains of the Allspark.
So who's the insect? You? What? Who's the insect?
Protect you. They were defeated on our world, and we will defeat them here.
The Megatron.
This was just a diversion. Security teams bring him up. Ravage, he's already inside. Deeds! Give me an update on that reserve. Boss readiness. What was his name?
Evac, sir.
Right, evac.
She's right in front.
We are facing a heavy, sustained attack. They appear to be after the Allspark craft. General! General! Need to evac immediately. Evac everything. Hold on. National security advisory. Stay down. Check it out. Failed the mission. Some rangers. The amateurs on a suicide mission.